Good afternoon, Berlin. I'm Zlatan Menkovic, and today I'm going to tell you a little bit about PeerReach. But before I do, I'm going to take you back to the 90s. The 90s was the beginning of the internet era. Millions of web pages were publishing content, and nobody could make any sense out of it until the search engine came along. Back to 2013, we've got a little bit of the same problem, but bigger. It's not any more pages publishing information, but it's people. And a lot of people publish a lot of information. And how can we make any sense out of this? So that's why PeerReach came with a solution. What did we do? We didn't index pages. No, we indexed people, and a lot of them. 70 million currently in our database. And we didn't only index them, we also analyzed them and made profiles. For instance, we took someone, looked at his profile, and we see, hey, he's talking a lot about fashion, so we give him a fashion label. We took someone and we looked at his profile, and it was music. So we did that for all those 70 million people. And next, we ranked them. So we took all the people in fashion and looked, hey, what's their authority or influence within the subject? And the next thing is, we published it. So in November 2012, we launched our website PeerReach to the public and made all these rankings public to people. And we didn't stop. We also made public all the personal information. This is Alexander from SoundCloud, and this is a profile we've made for him. Okay, we didn't even stop here. We made an API, and we made everything public so developers and companies can integrate this data in their own applications, and even developers could start building their own tools. But how about the content? And that's what we're launching today. I'm proud to present PeerStream. PeerStream is our first app to help you filter down content. This is a demo I did yesterday morning. I searched for Armstrong. Armstrong confessed to Oprah. And there were, I think, about 5,000 messages in 15 minutes about Armstrong. If we took our database of information of all those people saying all those things, I could drill down to, for instance, this is someone in sports in UK. And you see there are just 3 tweets, and there's one coming up in a second. So we can drill down to the information that's relevant for you and what you want to know. So you must be wondering, how did we do this? Of course, with the Dream Team. We have a great team of developers, designers, data scientists working on PeerStream and PeerReach, and we're backed by 3 great investors that are helping us with advice and also with our network across the world, from the US, UK, even into China. How about the market? The market currently can be divided along 2 axes. We have companies focusing a lot on people, companies focusing on messages, but not looking into the context of who's saying what. And there is company focusing on quality, but they are not real time. They have to take a week so they can run a report for the corporate world. And what we can do high quality, we can do it contextual, so we can look at people and messages, and we can do it in real time. So, what's the business? Currently, after 2 months after our launch, we're working already with 4 companies, and the first app by an independent developer is being launched next week with our data. Thank you, and please try out PeerStream on stream.peerreach.com. Thank you.
Cool. So, Min, you're discussing it already. What do you think about this?
Well, I think relevancy absolutely is the kind of holy cow actually for the Web 2.0 thing. So if you're going to crack this, I mean, I think it would be tremendous. What I want.
Crack it?
We already cracked it.
Oh.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, then good for you. When we saw that, what wasn't completely clear to us is what feeds into your data. Is that Twitter only? Does that include Facebook? So what's the source that you basically get the data from?
At this moment, we only use Twitter because we're just a team of 8 people, so we have to focus on one network. Twitter is the biggest broadcasting network at the moment, but the system in the background is all set up to integrate any other network at any time we have the opportunity and the time is right to do that.
Cool. Javed, same question or anything to add?
Yeah, I was also wondering if it's just Twitter that's being integrated. And also, since you're relying so much on Twitter, I feel like that might be a disadvantage for your business because there's nothing inherently sticky for your users, probably. Like they could switch to another service that's similar to yours because you're relying on Twitter. You don't control, you don't own the data or the, you know, so I think you're kind of at a disadvantage because of that.
I think the reason why we use only Twitter is what I like, just like I said, it's the network with most open public information. But we see, for instance, Facebook, especially the last few months, they changed their subscribe button to follow button. So I believe there will be a lot more broadcasting traffic on Facebook. So at the moment we see it's good for us to integrate that. We will start integrating other networks. So we're definitely aiming at multiple networks. But for the start, we just actually incorporated June last year. I think it would be a bad idea to focus on multiple networks at the same time in such an early stage.
Yeah, but I think there's also a question around, are there really any other relevant networks? You know, Twitter, probably Facebook. I mean, probably definitely, but then I don't know what else.
That's a whole different story. Yeah. So Megan, what do you think?
So we're investors in a company called Clout, which basically tries to identify influencers and sort of topic subject matter expertise within people based on the data that they're publishing across the web. So I'm familiar with sort of, I think, the general theme. But what I'm curious about is whether or not you see this as a true consumer play or as an enterprise play, because a lot of the companies it sounds like you're working with, I expect that they're using it from an enterprise perspective. Who should they be reaching out to? Customer service, advertising, perks, things like that. Or is this something where you expect me, consumer Megan, to go to your website every day and do searches there for subjects that I'm interested in?
Our current business model is mostly business to business. Mostly we have a lot of financial world that's interested in the data because they want to see real-time information on what's happening on the market. But also social media monitoring companies, they tap into our data. So that's our business to business model. While with the launch of this PeerStream app, which I just showed, and the evolution on that, we're aiming at indeed a consumer-based app that will be used by anyone that wants to follow, either when they're watching a TV show or when they're watching an event happening to see what's going on in real time.
Cool. MG, you have 30 seconds for the best comment ever.
Got it. Okay, also an investor in Cloud too, so same thing, and Megan stole my question, so I got to come up with a new one now. But basically, what are you using to actually rank the people that you talked about using? What kind of different signals are you doing for that?
Do you mean different than Cloud does, or?
Yeah, like, well, just how are you doing it? You know, you brought up the list of the top.
Yeah, we have our own ranking system. It's mostly based on the connections you have. So it's 80% authority, what we call. So who do you have in your network? Okay. And 20%.
So are these personalized rankings based on your network versus global rankings based on everyone on Twitter?
Yeah, so for instance, we always take the context. We think context is really important. So when you look at other network analysis like Cloud does or Peer Index or Cred, they take a single individual and they give him the score without the context. So if you tweet a lot because you're going on holidays or something and you get a high Cloud score, and you get certain topics because you tweet about it, it doesn't correlate with each other. We always give someone a score on the context. So when, for instance, Alexander has a score for music, and for technology, because he's busy with music and technology. So that's the context we look. So when we make a ranking, there's always a ranking score for the context we look at.
Got it. And one quick follow-up. Are you worried about Twitter screwing you?
Sorry?
Are you worried about Twitter screwing you and like either doing the same thing or pulling the data back?
Yes or no?
Of course.
Okay. Of course. There we go. Thanks so much. And please welcome Weebly.